Today we are cracking open one of the big ones, Albert Camus' incredible novel, The Stranger. It's a story about a man who commits a murder under the blazing Algerian sun. But, believe it or not, his real crime is something way, way stranger. It's his refusal to lie.
So let that sink in for a second. This is the central puzzle of the entire book. Our main guy, Meursault, is on trial for killing someone, sure. But as we're about to see, what society really puts on trial is something else entirely. Something deeply personal and, to them, totally unforgivable.
All right, so to really get Meursault, we have to start with the title itself. What does Camus actually mean when he calls this guy the stranger?
Now, this isn't about what passport you carry. When Camus says stranger, he means someone who is just fundamentally different, someone who's operating on a whole other frequency from the rest of us. He's not just from another place, it's like he's from another reality.
And this, right here, is the heart of that different reality. See, you've got society which runs on a very specific set of rules. Logic, reason, ambition, all that stuff. But Meursault, he doesn't live there. He lives in the world of the physical, of the senses. The heat of the sun, the salt of the sea. He's more like a stone or the wind than a person playing the social game.
And that's the real kicker. Meursault never tries to explain himself in a way that society can understand. He doesn't play the game. He won't get a hotshot lawyer or spin some sob story to make himself look good. It's this absolute refusal to play by their rules that ultimately seals his fate.
Okay, let's go a little deeper into this, because it's the core of his entire character. We're not just talking about avoiding telling lies. It's more like he's incapable of performing the little social fictions we all do every day.
You can really boil his strangeness down to these three things. First, he won't fake emotions he doesn't feel, like at his own mother's funeral. He just doesn't perform grief. Second, his truth is so simple and direct it's almost inhuman, like a rock. A rock can't lie, it just is. That's Meursault. And finally, when he's on trial for his life, he won't use society's logic to save himself. He stays a complete stranger to their world.
I mean, listen to that. That's a wild quote from Camus himself. He saw Meursault as a kind of martyr, but not a martyr for some big religious or political truth. No, Meursault dies for his truth, his simple, physical, personal reality.
So, we've got Meursault on one side. Now let's look at what he's up against, this massive, unblinking force we call society.
The world in this book runs on something called everydayness. You can think of it like the invisible software that runs our lives. It's all the unspoken rules, all the things you're supposed to do and feel to be seen as a normal, decent person. And here's where you see the total breakdown in communication. They're speaking two completely different languages. Society expects a show. You're supposed to cry, to say you have ambition. Meursault's truth is, well, it's just the sun was hot. When he's asked why he shot a man, that's his honest answer. To the court, that's not just a bad excuse. It's like he's speaking Martian.
So this is the bombshell, the absolute turning point of the trial. The judge, the jury, they're not really convicting him for the murder. They convict him because he didn't cry. His lack of tears is proof, to them, that he's a monster, that he has no soul. He's executed socially, right there in the courtroom, long before he ever sees the guillotine.
But here's the thing. The story doesn't just end with Meursault as this passive guy things happen to. The book is structured in two very distinct parts for a reason. There's a huge transformation.
Just look at the difference here. In part one, he's just floating through life. Everything is, it doesn't matter. It's all about simple, physical pleasure. But in part two, locked in a cell and facing his own death, he wakes up. Suddenly he's desperate to live. That old indifference is gone, replaced by this intense reflection on his life. He finally comes face to face with his own existence.
And what causes this change is what Camus famously called the absurd. The absurd is that moment of collision. It's when our deep human need to find meaning in life crashes head-on into a cold, silent universe that offers absolutely none. And for Camus, this incredibly painful moment, well, that's not the end. That's the real beginning of an authentic life.
Now, I know this all might sound like some heavy, abstract philosophy, but here's the thing. The conflict at the heart of this book is something I think we all feel, maybe more than we'd like to admit.
Come on, be honest. Have you ever been at a work event or a family dinner and just felt like you were reading from a script? Saying the right things, smiling at the right time, but inside you feel totally out of sync? That feeling? That's the feeling of being a stranger.
Turns out there's a modern term for this. Psychologists call it the insider-outsider.
You're physically in the group, the family, the friend circle, the office, but you feel like you're on the outsider looking in, because you don't speak the secret, unspoken language everyone else seems to know.
And what happens when we do try to live by our own truth? Well, society has a defense mechanism for that. It puts a label on you. You're immature for not wanting the typical 9 to 5, or neurotic or weird for not liking what everyone else likes. It's a way of pushing you back into line, and it can make you feel even more alone. And so, this is the question Camus leaves us with. It's the exact choice Meursault had to make. Do we play the game? Do we quiet that inner voice and conform to everydayness just to fit in? Or do we protect our own personal truth, even if it means we might have to live as a stranger in a world that doesn't understand?